right, you guys, quick sound check. Can we have a live show where the sound starts out okay? Wow, 2 days in a row we had sound problems with the mic. So, quick sound check, and then we'll get into today's show. Unreal, what's going on? Battle of the Billionaires. I know everybody has probably already heard about what's going on between Elon Musk and Donald Trump, and understand that it's all just a show. It's all just drama. It's Battle of the Billionaires, WWE. So, sounds like sound is good. Okay, good. Now, before we get into the film decode today, the Battle of the Billionaires is underway. The fake battle royal of nothingness where nothing ever gets solved, nothing ever really happens. It's all just drama. Nobody ever goes to jail. And so let me help you guys get caught up. Musk is now playing his role as the controlled demolition of electric vehicles in the new bill that Trump basically submitted, and it already has passed the House, waiting to pass the Senate. Trump is removing the electric vehicle rebate of $7,500. Now, this is something we've been talking about since his first administration. I said, why is the electric vehicle rebate still on the table? Why are electric vehicles being incentivized to be sold over gas vehicles if Trump is supposedly the president of gas vehicles? Right? And I told the conservatives, I said, you guys, we need to stand up against this electric vehicle rebate. Well, Trump has finally pretended to do something about this, but for all the wrong reasons. Now, I'm not sure what's at play yet with this electric vehicle controlled demolition, but I guarantee you this won't end the way that we think it's going to end. Now, never forget, okay? Remember, Trump is the Janus president. He's the Gemini president. Never forget that he was praising electric vehicles at the White House, Teslas all over. Here's some of the images of that. They almost added them to the White House fleet, which was pure hypocrisy because they had just deleted Biden's electric vehicles in the federal fleet. Remember that? And then here comes Trump, and then everyone was like, well, that's weird. And then they didn't do it. We also found a whole parking lot full of Teslas in the satellite imagery from Mar-a-Lago. Remember that? And Trump should have pulled the electric car rebate day one of his first presidency, just out of principle. So we had all these discussions because obviously gas vehicles are at a disadvantage when there's a rebate sitting on the table for $7,500. Now, understand, rebates don't really matter. All that does is prop up these, electric technology. But in effect, what companies do when they know there's a government rebate is they simply up the price by the amount of the rebate. So they're double dipping. We all know this happens. It happens with solar panels. When you go get a solar panels on your house, they're way more expensive than they should cost. And so the solar panel companies, they know that you're getting a rebate, so they just up the cost by that amount. It's all corruption, and it props up industries that shouldn't be propped up. Now, let's keep breaking this down because this is what really nobody has covered yet. And this is going to be shocking for you to hear. And I haven't heard any of the other channels really covering this yet. But in addition to Trump wanting to remove the $750 rebate for electric vehicles, guess what else? If you are an listen closely, this is very important. This is new information. If you are a current electric vehicle owner, there now will be a $250 fee just for owning an electric vehicle. Let's read. It says if you're already, let's just look at the date on this. Let's read this. If you own an electric vehicle, you're not alone. Over 3.5 million people register for EVs, 300,000 new ones sold first quarter 2025. But now proposed mega legislation known as the One Big Beautiful Bill Act could soon hit your wall with an annual federal fee to raise more than 800 million a year for highway trust fund. Lawmakers say the fee is needed as more drivers opt for electric vehicles. The House Transportation Committee Chairman Sam Graves said in a statement, for far too long, so blah, blah, blah. $250 fee. Now, it says this idea isn't new. Many states have already charged an annual fee for EV owners, ranging from $100 in California and Illinois to $250 in New Jersey. This would be a federal fee on top of that, would match the highest in the U.S., and if approved, apply to all EV owners, regardless of when they purchase their vehicle. Hybrid vehicle owners would also face a new $100 annual fee under the bill. So, hybrid or electric vehicles, you're now going to get a fee. Are you starting to wake up to the rope-a-dope? Elon Musk and Trump are laughing at you. If you took the bait and bought a Tesla so you could support your president, because they both knew this was going to happen to fleece you later. It's a honey trap. It's the electric vehicle honey trap. Now, had you listened to this channel, you would have never bought an electric vehicle because you would have seen all the videos that we did on the lithium. And I showed you how there was bipartisan efforts on both sides of the aisle to push these lithium mines through, which are exclusively used or will be used to mine lithium out of the ground and give them to electric vehicles for the batteries, right? And I told you there's something wrong here. Why are both Republican and Democrat governors allowing these lithium mines to be developed? Well, now you know. It was all a rope-a-dope. Oh, come in here, buy Tesla, support President Trump, support Elon Musk. Must be good, right? Oh, there's two different brands. Oh, if you buy a Tesla, you're a Republican, but if you buy the other electric vehicles, then you're a Democrat. It's right-left paradigm over and over again. They honey trapped millions of people into buying Teslas, and then they pulled the rug, and now they're going to literally charge you money. It's an extra tax for owning a Tesla or any electric vehicle for that matter, and any hybrid. Because I've heard people make the argument for hybrids. They sound cool and they look cool. And you know what? There was a different time in my life, I might have purchased a hybrid just because, but now you see the problem. Now you see the problem. You are now getting an extra tax for owning a vehicle. And I'll put a link to this story. I'm not going to read the whole story, but now you know what's really going on. And Elon Musk and Donald Trump are laughing at you because we all think that they're in this big fight and this big drama and this big war with each other, but they're not. They have to pretend they are. Now, here we go again with the Gemini Janice Trump. Now, way back during his first presidency, we did a video called Janice Trump. Remember that? Because Janice was Bifrons. That's his original ancient name. And we said, wow, that sounds a lot like Biff. Maybe that's where they got the name. Bifrons means two faces. And this is what we get with Trump over and over and over again. You can't trust him at his word because he could immediately flip-flop. He did this with Bitcoin. Now he's doing it with the electric vehicles. He did it with guns. He's done it with literally every topic in the book. It's been happening. Now, remember when we covered all of Musk's government projects? Remember we did the video on the Star base down in Texas and all the billions in government subsidies going to Musk for the Star program, Stargate AI, Stargate, and as well as Starlink and all this. Well, now Trump is also threatening to essentially go after all of Musk's subsidies. And again, not out of principle, but out of spite and an ego drama billionaire battle. Just like the WWE. I wonder if one of them is going to shave the other's head, like in the WWE Battle of the Billionaires. And it all started with the laughable blackened eye of Musk. That was like Trump throwing the first punch. It's just all so silly, but people believe this nonsense. And all the while, the AI surveillance state marches on while America eats up the drama. And so Elon Musk fires back, digging up Trump's old tweets, using his own words against him. And this was all about Trump criticizing the Democrats' big spending bill that they passed. And Trump like criticizing it for the spending and said there should never be an unbalanced budget. And so Musk used those tweets right back against Trump, who is doing the exact same thing. So obviously, this Trump move is crashing Musk's Tesla business, but it's all by design, controlled demolition, because the Musk's business was propped up by rebates. And at this point, you can't give a Tesla away. I was talking to a friend and he's like, yeah, you can get a Tesla for like 20 grand that used to cost 60 grand. Now, again, all this is just distraction drama. So they can put the final touches on the AI police state. All that's happening behind the scenes. They're also going through and replacing millions of jobs with artificial intelligence. So where is everybody going to go to work? How are they going to make money? How are they going to pay their mortgages? So there will be a huge takeover of mortgages, job takeover, property grab by the federal government. All this is happening while everyone's all intrigued with this Trump and Musk battle, this fake battle. So there's the update. Musk fires back. Here's the bombshell. And he says, of course, that Trump is named in the Epstein files, which we already told you he was going to be in the Epstein files. No one believed us, but for some reason, they all believe Elon Musk. Wow. We said over and over again that there's no way that Trump was in all those pictures with Epstein and that he was flew on the Lolita Express, even though he never technically went to the island, as far as we know. I'm sure those documents and those flight logs have been suppressed. We do know he flew on the Lolita Express, and we also know that Epstein flew on Trump's plane once. That's what the flight log said. The day after those flight logs were released with Trump's name on it was when Epstein died. The day after, literally. So something is wrong, as we say. And people are like, oh, well, you know, Trump kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago for being inappropriate. No. Yeah, he kicked him out, but that was simply to distance himself. So because Epstein became a hot potato, right? So now all of a sudden, everybody's going, since Elon Musk said that, Trump won't release the Epstein files because he's in them. Now we believe it. Wow. So this is the feud. I'm sure this will escalate even more. I'm sure Trump will come out with stuff against Musk and Musk will go back against Trump. But Elon Musk has no proof that Trump's in the Epstein files. He hasn't provided any evidence. So all this is doing is creating the perceived infighting. Now, enough of that drama. Have you guys seen the fake baby bump, Meghan Markle? Let's look at this. Now, are there any moms out there? Please chime in. Please chime in and tell us if you've ever been pregnant. Has your stomach ever looked like this? Look at the top. Look at the top here. Now I have 2 kids and I was very involved in the process of pregnancy with my ex-wife, and her stomach never looked like this. Now, I don't know how many months pregnant, that Meghan Markle's is claiming to be. I mean, this has to be the ninth month, and even twins wouldn't look like this. But everyone's talking about this because they did some kind of baby dance, they called it. And so she's basically like almost like twerking with the baby in her belly. And the whole thing is just weird. And everyone's like, that is not a real pregnancy. Now we've had our theories about how all this works, how these people essentially will put on like baby suits, but then they'll have somebody else carry the child. Think about it. These people are so vain. They're on Instagram every single day, posting pictures of themselves. They love to be in bathing suits and all these things. They don't want any stretch marks. Why in the world would they carry their own child if they had the opportunity to deceive everyone into thinking that they carry their own child? So they get the credit, the social credit, right, for carrying a child, but then they really didn't do the work to do it. And then they want us all to believe that their bodies shrink back into the perfect shape, and they put on a two-piece bikini like 3 months after pregnancy, and we're all supposed to believe that they didn't carry the child. You see how this works? And when people have the money to do this, of course they're going to do it. They're going to have someone else carry the child. And then the other person probably signs a contract saying that they're not allowed to say anything, and the rest is history. So I don't think anyone has a problem with what they choose to do with their own bodies. The problem is the lie and the predictive programming to make us think that there's somebody that they're not. So those are the updates on the headlines. Let's get into the rest of the show today. Total Recall. Now, how did I stumble upon Total Recall 2012? This is the reboot of the original film that was from the 90s. Well, I was looking at any kind of artificial intelligence films from 2012. That was my original rabbit hole I went down, because 2012 was when Trump was 66 years old. So I thought, I wonder if there's anything to see here. And I stumbled upon Total Recall. I got to watch this. Total Recall stars Colin Farrell, Kate Beckinsale is in this, as well as Jessica Biel and Ethan Hawke. And this cast is littered with the number 66. Remember, Trump is 66 years old in 2012. And here, let's take a look at the cast. This is insane. Not only was Total Recall based off of a 1966 book, there's your first 66, Ethan Hawke, born on 11/6. 11 times 6 is 66. Also, the guy who plays the leader, the evil tyrant, Chancellor Velos Cohagen is his name. And you'll see this. He was born March 7th. Which is the 66th day of the year. Let's take a look at this, because there's more.
Travel time to the United Federation of Britain, 17 minutes.
Now, let me give you the plot of this. Essentially, there are two worlds. Well, two places on Earth. And they reinforce the globe Earth lie by saying that there are only two places left on Earth that are habitable. The rest of it is inhabitable because of biological warfare. The only two places that are left are Australia and Great Britain, or England. And the way that they get to each side is through this tunnel called the Fall. And basically it's this drop, like a drop capsule. They all get in it, and it falls through the center of the Earth and comes out the other side. And the flight time, or drop time, is 17 minutes. 17 is Q is the 17th letter of the alphabet. Now, isn't it weird that today is 6/6? And we've got all these 66s. Let's look at some of these characters.
Dropping in 60 seconds. Welcome to the fall. It's 7:21 a.m.
So we had Ethan Hawke, born 11/6. That's 66. Today is 6/6. Trump was 66. It's based off of a story from 1966 called We Can Remember It For You Wholesale by Philip K. Dick. Are there more 66s? Yes, there are. Bryan Cranston plays the evil chancellor, born March 7th, which is the 66th day of the year. Are there any more 66s? Yes, there are. Another character. John Cho, born 2 days after Trump's birthday. Trump was born June 14th. John Cho, June 16th. Gemini, confirmed. And Will Yun Lee, born 3/22. 3 times 22 is 66.
Chancellor has announced that he will be stopping all humanitarian aid to the colony in light of this morning's bombing. Despite recent talks between Chancellor Cohagen and the colony's governor,
the protection of our citizens will always come first. Today's terrorist attacks means that funding will have to go to bolstering our synthetic federal police force.
So, this guy is born on the 66th day. He plays the Trump character. Many of you will recognize him from Breaking Bad. I think this is the same guy. This is just a younger version of him. But, wow, he plays the world dictator, and he needs justification to go to Australia and take it over. Australia is literally like the slave camp of the world order. And so he does a bunch of false flags to justify creating a robot army. An AI robot army. Does all this sound familiar? We have to get a hold of the border. So we have to use artificial intelligence to root out illegals. Does all this sound familiar? Because it's happening right now under Trump. He's using the border crisis as an excuse to trample on your rights. He has just launched Project Gotham from Palantir on all American citizens to enter all your information into a database and determine if you are likely to create a crime. That's their definition, not mine. They call it pre-crime. So this movie is literally happening right now. Different issue, but same thing. Now, the film is about implanted memories, AI robots, and again, Earth destroyed by biological weapons. The only countries left are Australia and England. Interesting that now we have this whole fungus epidemic and the breaking news of Chinese trying to smuggle in some kind of agro-terrorism. You guys, this is the exact plot of this movie. Literally, they're saying that biologicals killed the Earth. So, same thing, right? Let's keep watching.
Synthetic federal police force.
Hold it here.
Now, this part is weird because we get another confirmation about Q. Remember, a 17-minute ride through Earth on this, the fall, they call it, the drop ship. Well, who is Colin Farrell play? A character named Quaid with a Q. That's another Q confirmation. It's not an accident that his name is Q. Quaid. Now, before we continue on with this, we're going to get into this secret birthday code that I found about Trump's birthday. Now, this is really, really weird, and I was not expecting to find this. Let's make this a little bit bigger for you guys. This is brand new information. No one has discovered this yet before. So if you're watching today, you're in for a treat. This is Trump's birthday, 6/14. And I just put in 2025. And all I did was add in the secret code of the number 66 and I subtracted 66 days from Trump's birthday. Okay, this just seems random, right? Subtract 66 days from Trump's birthday. What do you get? You get April 9th. Well, what is April 9th? It is the 99th day of the year. Oh, that's just an accident, Casey. That's nothing to see here. Well, I did the same thing by subtracting 88 days from Trump's birthday. What did it land on? March 18th. What is March 18th? Ready for this? The 77th day of the year. I wish I was making all this up, but I'm not. Gemini confirmed. The double digits, everything that was revealed to us is confirmed by simply removing 88 and 66 days from Trump's birthday and seeing what day that falls on the calendar. Now, oh, okay, so you can do that with any date. No, you can't. This is August 14th. I decided to try it with other dates that fell on the 14th day of the month. And this gives you, let's see here. Actually, I subtracted 66 days. That gives you June 9th. What does June 9th fall on? A random date with no consequence. 160th day of the year with 205 remaining. And you can do this for any date in the calendar. The only day that I've found that it works on is Trump's birthday. Removing 88 or 66 days lands on a different calendar date with another double digit. And if any of you can find anything different than that by doing your own test, please let us know in the comments. But that's what I found, and that is really, really weird. Now, let's keep going with this. So that was the secret Trump birthday code. There's something special about his birthday. Now, again, this is Colin Farrell. He plays a character named Q or Quaid, and he works at a facility basically assembling these robots, these AI robots. The name of the facility is basically a T, which is Trump's logo, but it's a company named Tokonomo is the name of the company. So it's not Trump, but you get the gist here. You've got Q working on T, right? And he's putting together these robots, which is all happening right now. We just heard that Amazon is now making a robot delivery army for the deliveries. And we also know that Elon Musk is working on Optimus Prime robots. These are humanoid robots. Now, what's going on in this scene? Well, Quaid, or Colin Farrell, is assembling these robots, and there's two of them side by side. And I was like, whoa. With spiritual eyes, we know what this is. This is the crucifixion. Crucifixion mockery. The robots are the two thieves on the cross. Who's Colin Farrell? He's the false Messiah, the Q, the Quetzalcoatl Messiah, the feathered serpent. Watch this scene and tell me what you see in terms of the crucifixion.
You hold it there and it sends shorts. One of those bolts will shoot straight through your hand. No shit, huh?
Wow. Pierced in the hand. Now this theme, now remember, this is the false mark. Okay? This is the mark of the beast, the mark of the robot, the mark of AI. Do you need any more confirmation that AI is probably the mark of the beast? Marked in the hand. Now, this is his left hand, but you get the gist as they're working on the two thieves. Quaid, that's the false Messiah. Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent. Let's keep watching here. Now, because there's been a spike in terrorism, and they all think that it's the workers in Australia, but really, it's Trump. which is the character that was born on the 66th day when Trump was 66 years old. Gosh, I wonder how old he was in 2012. This character who plays Trump. Let's look at that real quick before we keep going here. This is insane, you guys. I can't even believe this. Whoa, so he's 69 now. The guy who plays the Trump archetype. So that's significant, right? 6 is 9, 9 is 6. Let's keep watching here. Now, because of the terrorism, the bosses make the workers sign a loyalty contract, which again is happening right now in the federal government under Trump. They're making them write essays to pledge their loyalty.
Heightened concern regarding the, shall we say, loyalty of our workers. Given these politically charged times there, Mr. Quaid, in your capacity here, you are privy to police synth technology that is currently classified.
I know how to turn them on, if that's what you mean. And what is that?
It affirms that you will not divulge proprietary technology to any source, either foreign or domestic. We'd like you to sign this. The document merely affirms you are who you say you are.
Wow. It's happening now. Now, at this point, Colin Farrell begins to wake up to his reality, the reality that humanity is enslaved with robot police, and they're forced to work assembling these robots, which is just more tyranny on top of tyranny. And he has these recurring dreams of him trying to escape with a strange woman, but it's actually a real memory, but he doesn't realize that. But he looks around him and his friends believe that he is living a dream, that they're under the illusion that life is great. Does all this sound familiar? The whole patriot movement, the MAGA crowd. Oh, as long as you just keep making money, everything's great. Let's keep watching.
And that you are not actively engaged in any attempt to overthrow this administration.
You want me to sign something that says I'm not a terrorist?
You're living the dream, my friend.
Really?
Yeah, man.
I'm living the dream?
Yeah.
Now, it's a dream. You're living the dream until you wake up and realize that you've become an enemy of the state for realizing their lies. And then your whole world comes crashing down. This is what the world will look like in short order. Synth robots, pleasure robots.
If I were you, I'd get rid of that phone.
Now, here's something else that's happening now. Remember, this was from 2012. Remember? Who just came out and said, oh, cell phones are going to be extinct because you're going to wear your cell phone. Well, that's exactly what happens in the movie. The mobile phone is integrated into your right hand. Sound familiar? The right hand is where the mark goes.
All right, now.
How can I get rid of the phone? It's in my goddamn hand.
This says it all. It's literally happening right now. Now, any of these things that I'm mentioning that you don't know about yet, you would know if you were keeping up on the videos every day because we've covered all this. But if you don't know, just do a simple Google search about the tech billionaires saying that mobile phones will be obsolete in a few years. And everything else we mentioned.
Wait.
So he pulls the phone out of his hand. And of course, this is more crucifixion, symbolism, Christ mockery, the mark of the beast instead of the mark of Jesus. Now, we don't literally get a mark from Jesus in the right hand, but we're saved through his sacrifice. So we're marked for eternity. Okay. And of course, everybody's going to want one because that's really cool that your cell phone could be in your hand, right?
What is that? Where can I get one?
Wow. What else is going on? Let me check in with you guys and we'll start to try to finish this up. This is literal insanity. Please thumbs up the video. No one's going to see this video unless you share it. YouTube will not share this video for us, will not recommend it. We already know this. So let's keep going. What else is happening right now? Well, remember the orb? Remember Altman just came out with this new device called the orb, which is going to scan your retina or your iris. Well, let's take a look.
Yeah, I have a safety deposit box here. It's
The orb. Now, at this point, Colin Farrell's trying to wake up and realize who he is. He's having these latent memories. He's also being chased by people. They're trying to kill him. And he's like, I got to figure this out. So he somehow finds out that he has a safety deposit box. He goes into the safety deposit box and there's money in there. And what's on the money? Obama's face is on the $50 bill. There are other people. I don't know who this guy is. On the $1,000 bill, there's a third person, I think, on this 500. I can't really see his face either. But you guys are smart and you can help us get down to the bottom of who these people are. I put it in slow motion so you can see this a little bit better. But all this goes to show is how it didn't matter in 2012. Didn't matter if it was Trump or Obama. The same thing is happening. Had they chosen Obama, all of the stuff that's in this movie is going to happen anyway. It's the right-left paradigm. Let's keep watching here. Whoa, was that Schwab? Was that Schwab? It looked like Schwab, didn't it? On that $500 bill. That's what it looked like to me. Okay, let's keep watching here. This is insane. What else is happening now? Well, the CIA director just came out and said that, oh, we have masks that we put on that are indistinguishable from reality. You could literally be walking around and someone looks like they're real, but they're literally wearing a mask. Well, let's take a look. This was from 2012.
But this is not your face. I've been captured and resculpted into this person you think you are now.
Yes, thank you.
That's him!
I hope you're awake. Now, granted, the technology that the CIA station chief, it wasn't the director, the station chief came out on national TV. They said it was some kind of skin, 3D printable skin or something like that. And they've had this since the Bush years. So this is digital, so it's a little bit different, but still the same concept. Well, what else? Well, Trump promised we would have flying cars under his presidency. So here's the flying cars. And apparently at 2:37, Trump tweeted out that he was going to remove all of Elon Musk's rebates. At 2:37, which is that beast number that we found, and this is the number on the side of the cop car in the movie.
Why would he attack his own people? I don't understand.
Then they disclosed that all this is a false flag and that the Trump archetype character in the movie, born on the 66th day when Trump was 66 years old, was basically doing his own false flags to justify the robot police army.
How else could he justify tripling production of federal police synthetics? A commanding officer in the war, so I know exactly what he is capable of.
Now, what is this scene? Well, Colin Farrell finds his apartment that he used to live at, And there he finds a message coded inside the piano of Ethan Hawke, which is like someone trying to help him in the resistance. And Ethan Hawke basically was a turncoat. He turned against the Trump administration because he saw that he was doing false flags to enslave the people and bring in the police state. So now you know what they're planning because they just disclosed it to you in a movie.
Think about it, right? What is the one resource the colony has that United Britain doesn't? He is building a private army capable of invading the colony.
Wow. So that's what I found in the movie Total Recall. There were so many 66s all over this film that it was like crazy. Okay, I'm back in the chat, you guys. That was pretty much the show that I had for you guys. What are your thoughts on this? Is this all in our heads still? I can't imagine there's one person that would say this is all just made up because it's too accurate. And it suggests some kind of higher intelligence, doesn't it? Some kind of supernatural intelligence. And for us to be able to find it is a miracle, a gift of the Holy Spirit to try to finally get people on the right side of history, to finally get you working for the kingdom of heaven instead of the men's earthly kingdoms and believing in men and all the promises that they give us. That's what this all boils down to, is giving your life to Jesus Christ, who has revealed all these things to you as a gift from all of you. God has given us this gift because all of you are part of this channel. You send me stuff every day. I simply present it. So, if you're not a believer, now might be a good time. Thanks, Kim. And it wasn't me that made the connection. It all goes to the Holy Spirit. I cannot take any credit for this. I simply put my head down and do what the Lord tells me to do. And I stay focused. I do the best that I can through this human suit that we're given to do the information justice. Now, some people are getting battle weary. They're like, why do you keep covering Trump? Because Trump is all that matters right now. If we close our eyes to Trump and try to focus on other things, then they'll simply march the New World Order right in with the consent of all the Bible-believing Christians who gave Trump a pass, who are now on the wrong side of salvation, right? Because that means they're worshiping or will worship the beast. If they're worshiping what Trump's doing to bring in the beast, then they're going to worship the beast. And they'll be damned to hell. So this is all about people's salvation, isn't it? Revelation tells us what's going to happen to those who worship the beast. And if they're already making every excuse they can for Trump, then what do you think they're going to do when they're told to worship the beast? So you can literally see this as saving people's lives. Now, I understand once saved, always saved is a doctrine that many people believe in. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know for a matter of fact, but I can tell you what Revelation says. And it says, shall cause all to take the mark. And then those that worship the beast, the image of the beast, will be thrown in the lake of fire. So even if you were already thought you were saved and you worship the beast, you're going into the lake of fire. So don't buy this fake drama that Elon Musk and Trump is talking about. Elon Musk is building the robot army. He's building Optimus Prime. Amazon just came out and said they're going to replace all the delivery workers with, let's look that up, just to show you, in case you missed yesterday's show. I showed this story, but Amazon AI robots delivery. AP ran this story. There you go. Here's the Guardian. Let's double down on this. Hopefully people wake up. This is not made up. This is not conspiracy theory. This is happening. It was all depicted in a movie. Amazon testing humanoid robots to deliver packages. Wow. Look at this. Tech firm is building humanoid park in U.S. to try out robots which could spring out of its vans. They literally spring out of a van, probably a self-driving van, grab a package and put it on your door Software for humanoid robots that could perform the role of delivery workers with and spring out of its vans. Information reported the robots could eventually take the jobs of delivery workers. It is developing the artificial intelligence software that would power the robots, but will use hardware developed by other companies. The indoor obstacle course being used for the tests at Amazon. You guys, I can't even believe we're at this point in history. When I started this channel, I never thought that there would be robots walking around like the movie I, Robot, delivering packages, and AI everywhere. We did a documentary on the rise of artificial intelligence probably about 8 years ago. And everything in that video is happening now. I'll put a link to this story as well for you guys. What are your thoughts? Now, all of this could have been avoided had people stepped out of the right-left paradigm during, let's say, I thought COVID was going to wake everybody up, but it didn't. We still had people coming out in record numbers to vote for Trump the second term. Not enough people saw the truth. Otherwise, they could have written in the Lord's Prayer into the ballot. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Your kingdom come. Maybe Jesus would have came back if everybody, all Christians in America, prayed. But God knew that wasn't going to happen because there's still other stuff that has to happen in the timeline. That he's going to have to cut the day short at some point because there won't be any flesh left. And of course, the darkening of the sun and a third of the earth burning up, all that has to happen first before Jesus returns. But at least we could have tried. We could have sent a message to heaven, couldn't we have? Before we got to this point, we could have sent a message to heaven. God can do anything. Heck, everyone wants to discredit the Bible because of the Mandela effect. Well, what if 100 million Christian Americans wrote in the Lord's Prayer to the ballot? And God changed the Bible to fit the new timeline because his people had faith. And all our memories were changed. And then Revelation read something like this. All the saints prayed and gave up their idolatry of men on earth and the promises made that contradict the Bible. And when God heard the voices and prayers of the saints, he ended the world. Armageddon happened and Jesus returned. I love each and every one of you. I'll put links to all this. Have a great rest of your day, you guys. Much love.